you've covered some really interesting points there, but I was kind of actually talking more about not so much the starting team, the wider Lions touring party, because I think when you get into, like I said, you pick the first 25 players probably quite easily, and I think you'll get some really interesting selections of players where you're going, well, hang on, they're not the best player around, but because maybe they can cover both sides of they could prop both sides if they needed to. A player who could play 10 if they needed to. I'm talking about these tour games. I think we'll see players like maybe Daly sneaking in there as a really versatile back. There's always a couple of backs who are literally there to cover every position, and the same with the forwards. So it's a bit of a geeky thing to get excited about, but I really like looking at those weird selections where they go, where does that come from? I just wondered if you had anyone in mind for that slot.
Well, are there any others that jump out for you? Well, I just sort of think myself on.
Yeah, I think the problem is that at the moment I've had no rugby to watch to actually see any of the players. So it's like I'm pretty much in the dark at the moment. The last time I watched English or Wales or Pro 14 rugby was probably in December. So it was a while ago. So I'm just trying to rack my brain.
What about any bolters? Well, around that conversation, are there any bolters, any young guys you think could storm into contention here? I mean, one guy that said that
the Welsh guy, the Welsh kid that plays for it's one of the English clubs.
Tompkins,
the Welsh winger.
Lane, Owen Lane.
Is it young?
Luis Zamet.
Yes, that's it. I think he might. I think I've been watching him play when I got to watch him play, and I think he's up there. He's going to be a great player in the future.
I saw an article. Apparently, he's one of the fastest as well over the 40 meters in world rugby. They put his times up against Reko Ioane and some of the other speedsters, even some of the South African speedsters, and he tops them all.
He's going to be great. But he's really young. I think he's like 19, 20. Hasn't played for Wales yet. I think that's quite a long stretch for him to make it, having not played international yet. I think certainly Doris and Kelleher from Ireland, like you said, hooker's not a particularly deep area. If they want an impact sub at hooker, Kelleher may well be a guy that goes. So he might be my outside bet.
What about Cooney? What do you think of Cooney? Is he a chance of making it?
I think his time was the World Cup. I had him in my World Cup team when I did my videos for Ireland. I thought he should have gone all day long. Amazing goal kicker. Everything, honestly, everything about his game was quality. I would have had him starting for Ireland probably, but I think he's not massively young. He hasn't, he didn't get in the Ireland setup, and I think his time's probably gone, unfortunately.
Well, then, if that's the case, and we're looking at that, do you think like an Underhill would probably make the extended squad, or to play the game?
Underhill's a tough one because he is a guy who is pretty much a 7. He's not, his thing's not massively skill. He's not a massive skill player. He's pretty much a 7. So he's so good he might make it, but he's the sort of guy where you're saying, well, we're probably only going to play in one position, and they're the tough ones. They're the guys that could miss out to someone like, Josh Navidi's got such a great chance of going because he can play 6, 7, and 8. Great chance of going.
Billy's pretty much a specialist 8.
Yeah.
Well, there's a logjam there in the loose forwards as well. You've got Watson, you've got Richie, you've got just so many good names.
Yeah. What Billy's got going for him is he's the only big, massive, powerful guy, and so that's his plus card.
Well, hopefully he doesn't break his arm again. Seems like pretty much a recurring kind of thing.
Yeah, I just think to get the best out of Billy V, you need someone else who's available to also do some of that go forward momentum type ball running play. There's a lot that falls back to him, but it almost becomes predictable. You see him standing one off the ruck, it's going straight to him. So there almost needs to be someone on the opposite side of the ruck who's got an equal if not, role to take off some of that expectation that he has.
Yeah, I mean, if you want ball carriers, I mean, that's where Sinclair and Genge, like the English guys, really come in. If you want out-and-out carriers, I mean, this is the pack you've got up there, Zach, probably isn't set up massively for carrying, actually, apart from Billy. Well, CJ Stander and Billy, yes. The 2 second rows carrying big carries isn't particularly their thing.
Yeah.
So you got Furlong, Stander, Billy as your main go-to carriers. You could beef it up a bit more if you wanted pure carrying for sure.
Yeah, that's a good point.
If I think South Africa side, you'd be talking, it would be Marks, Itzebeth, Steph, and Vermeulen. So, that would be the ball carriers on that side. But shall we be talking about this team? I think you've obviously got Courtney Laws as the replacement for Lock, but I think you're going to have more than just that as a Lock. And I've got a feeling who's a big enforcer kind of Lock that would go.
I like the look of what's his name? Cruz. Cruz stands out to me. He's been a pretty good player there at Lock. Are there any others you would select as a ball carrier enforcer, Rich?
It's weird. The enforcer thing has kind of died out a bit out of the game in a way. I mean, it obviously used to refer to, remind me of the two best South African locks of all time that I absolutely know, but I can't remember their names.
Victor Matfield.
Thank you. Okay. Bacchus Botha, yeah. He was your absolute classic enforcer. And because he played, he played it a while ago, he could get away with certain things, like punching guys and smashing them with shoulders and stuff. And you just can't get away with it anymore. So the stuff you're doing as an enforcer really is just legal stuff, like carrying hard and tackling hard.
Physicality and defense.
And I'm not sure we've got a huge amount of those at second row. You'd probably say Courtney Laws is probably the biggest hitter in the tackle, but he's not the biggest carrier. So I'm not sure there's actually those huge Snyman type guys around, actually. It's more athletic locks that we have.
So you've got to go mobility then. I mean, if that's the strengths you have at your disposal, if those are the players you have at your disposal, you just have to go a full mobile attack. So you would probably lean more towards a Tipper at Curry, as you mentioned, in the back row, Rich, because it leans itself more to mobility and work rate.
It's really... Yeah, go after the breakdown. Absolutely, go Curry, Tipperick, maybe even Navidi starting, maybe Watson, Ritchie. These sorts of guys could be an absolute pain in the bum. It depends on how the refs ref it as well. But Atoje could get over the ball. George is pretty good over the ball. You could play likes of Sinclair as well, so you could really go after them and try and muck up their ball. But it's a risk because you're reducing your carrying.
And you've still got to stop them in defence. That's the other thing. You've still got to stop some of the big ball runners in defence, and that's not easy.
It would be also interesting to have a CJ Stander coming off the bench and say, "Yeah, you got 25 minutes. Ramp it up to 200%. Go for it."
Yeah.
It might be a real game plan on that side. But yeah, I do think they're going to. It's a much mobile pack. I think Mario Atoje is probably the most intelligent forward I've seen in the last 5-6 years. I'm going to be completely honest, and I just think he knows when to put the hand on the ball and when to slow it down, and just he knows everything. So okay. I'm liking the team.
Yeah. How about we wrap this up and let's just spend a couple of minutes each. Give us your thoughts. Which way do you think the Lions will go in terms of selections? And I mean, in terms of style, we've spoken about two styles. And who do you think, 1 year out, I won't hold you to it, but who do you think wins the series? Who wants to kick off?
Don can go first.
Well, I'm going to go on past history. So I predicted the Boks would win the World Cup when we lost 57-0 to New Zealand. So I'm pretty good at this kind of stuff. So I'm thinking that I think it's going to come down to a 2-1 series decided in Cape Town, and I think it's going to be the Hawks.
Okay,
Sorry.
I've had food delivered again, guys. This is getting good. Okay, I don't know which way it's going to go, but this is the way I think they're going to select. Okay, I think they're going to select tried and tested players. So I think they're going to select the likes of Farrell, and I think Russell might miss out and those sorts of players, the looser types of players. But I think they're going to try and run the box around. So I think they're going to try and play this. Hang on, I've got some more food coming. Here we go. Got 2 now. I think they're going to try and play the second game plan slightly, but with actually more tried and tested players. The likes of, they'll try and get Farrell to play. They'll try and get maybe Bigger to play. Maybe George Ford might come in. And I think they'll try and get the forwards to play a bit more. They'll try, Billy can pass the ball very nicely. Mako might be in there. Sinclair, oh my goodness, I've got a plate coming as well. This is brilliant. There we go. At least it's not spilled on my lap this time. So I think they're going to mix it up. They're going to select fairly traditional, but they're going to try and play a lot out the back. They're trying to use forwards like, George. Tipperick's a fantastic handler. I think they'll try and put the skill on them that way, actually. But I don't know who's going to win. Let's say South Africa. Okay, South Africa put the pressure on. South Africa should win 3-0, otherwise it's a failure. There you go.
I like that.
So the Lions just have to win one game and they've won.
They've won.
Yeah. With fantastic running rugby, forwards passing to backs, beautiful tries.
Yeah. Well, okay, let me jump in here.
If the Lions, if they draw the series, or Gatlin would probably be the most successful Lions coach of all time.
Well, that's right. You'd have to say his record would speak for itself at that point. And I will touch on Gatlin because I actually think this is one of the reasons why I think the Springboks will win and win quite convincingly. I think there's a great opportunity for the Lions to innovate, to play a fast-running game. I think they've got all the players at their disposal to do that. But will a coach like Gatlin have it in him to make those types of selections? Like you said, you don't think Finn Russell will go. Well, he's one of the best X-factor players out there. So I just think there's a real opportunity here to play fast, mobile, running, open style rugby. I just can't see Gatlin putting his name behind that. And as a result, I think you're right. I think they go a bit more middle of the road. I think they still try and play a little bit expansive, but I don't think they have all the firepower at their disposal to really pull that off. That's my call.
Yeah. I mean, what Gatlin does do, ignore how he played for Wales. He does whatever he thinks is right. He's not afraid to drop a Brian O'Driscoll. He's not afraid to make massive calls. He doesn't care who likes him and who doesn't like him. So if he thinks he needs to get more quicker ball players, athletic guys in there, he'll do it, and he'll not select big players. So whatever he goes for, he'll go for it.
Do you think he'll go for it, though, towards a more running style of rugby? That's my concern. Is I just think there is that opportunity to really look for mobility and look for X factor here, but I just can't see the coaching staff coming up with that as their strategy.
There's a factor we've ignored for Lions, which is massive in selection. Is they want good tourists. They want guys who will bring a team together, which will have a laugh, which won't disrupt. And we haven't mentioned that at all, actually. So I think, some players who have had problems with coaches, they moan a lot. They're known for being a bit disruptive if they don't get selected. That's going to go against them.
Yeah. Yeah, it just seems like there's so many factors against what I think the Lions need to be successful here.
Which is what makes it so great, guys, doesn't it?
Yeah, but
that's right.
The same thing when we said the same thing when they're playing against New Zealand, and
well, that's right.
And then, so.
Well, I blame Sonny Bill still to this day.
What was he thinking? What was he thinking?